Hello and welcome to the Alchemist Inkwell.
This is your spiritual podcast for people who try to be as grounded as they can.
I know every time someone asks me like, "How are you?" like on a reading or something, I'm like, "Well, I am a person on the planet.
hmm
That is something I am."
Yeah.
We're grounded it in. Take a deep breath right now, guys.
hmm
In and out. Settle
It's a
in.
it's a bookend episode. So this is going to be your escape. Bookend and Hygge. And we
Hmm.
have some nice questions from our patrons to bring into our Hygge, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun, guys.
hmm
For however long this ends up going for,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great time.
Yep.
And I think we need it. I think we
hmm
need it.
We deserve it.
Engaging as consciously as possible is important right now
hmm
with every aspect of life. And we hope that this is a part where you can just be unconscious. Just turn
hmm
it off.
Just zone out and listen to our voices tell you about books you should read.
Uh-huh. What do we want to start with? Do we want to go Higa first or do we want to do books?
Let's books first, and then we can Hygge.
I'm so down.
Yeah. I've read well this month, I believe. Do you want to go
Yeah.
first or should I?
I'll go first.
Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Um, So I'm gonna talk books. I'm also gonna talk one show. Because
Good point.
it's I've also watched a really good show this month, so we're gonna talk about that too, which is probably old news for a lot of people, but it was new news to me and I fucking love it. So first we're gonna start with the final book of what name is this series? Hold on. I need to find the name of the series because I can never
Oh, is it that one that
remember
you're like, it
the
keeps
name
coming out every year?
every year. And I've read it. I've read all the things. What is the name of the book series? It's the Fate of Wrath and Flames series.
Mm,
And the book that I finished, it's the final book in that series. It's called A Dawn of Gods and Fury. I hate titles in that way, which I've bitched about
hmm
every year for the last 4 years
A
on
something
this
of something of
podcast.
something all the time.
But I've read it was the final one in the series. I think there's going to be a spinoff, judging with how it ended, which is fine. Um, Okay, couple notes on it. One, if you are looking for a romantasy series that has really, really good building, a lot of political intrigue, multiple romantic couples, it's kind of spicy, but it's good. It's really good. I actually think that if had it been named differently and gotten a little bit more press, I think it would probably be as big as ACOTAR, to be totally
Oh,
honest.
wow. Okay.
It's a really, really good series. It's really good. The ending, just the ending, like last quarter left something to be desired. It needed like two paragraphs more of explanation to make any type of sense.
Mm,
It made sense, but you kind of have to infer, and I just think they could have done better with that. Um, did it deter me from the series as a whole? No. I think the series as a whole is really, really well done. There's a couple different ways I wish they would have taken the ending that I think would have been cool. However, I do think they're doing a spinoff, so I think that's part of the way she did that.
mhm.
But it's really good. It's really, really good. It's really timely. I really related with the main character. His name is Romaria. Um, she gets transported to this world against her bidding, but it talks a lot about how realms overlap each other. So even stuff that affects us in this realm affects that realm too, but in a different way. It's really cool. It's a really cool series. I highly recommend it if you are looking for like a romantasy series to follow up, like an ACOTAR situation or anything like that. This is a really good option. And now that
Mhm.
it's done, I can confidently say that. So highly recommend it. You'll never remember the title though. The title is just impossible to remember. So
We
anyway,
literally
it's
name
by
our episodes in a mock of these kinds of titles. That's why all of our
yeah.
episodes are of something and something.
Uh-huh. It's literally because we're mocking this.
hmm
That's in case you're wondering, like, why is this called of blah 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 blah? It's
Yeah.
because we're making fun of books.
hmm
Uh, it's truly what it is. But like, I don't know why there's this trend of that. Like, I get it. A Court of Thorns and Roses kicked it off, but like, why are we mocking that?
Yeah.
Like, why are so many
Why
books
are
that
we
are serious
imitating it?
books
Yeah. Yeah.
imitating that? Like,
hmm
don't please, like,
Yeah.
please don't.
It worked for one person. Now you're just being cheesy. Yeah.
And it's gonna blend in. Like, I don't know
hmm
what strategy it is. And this person is, it's like a traditionally published book. Was your publisher not like, or what did the
Yeah.
publisher actually push for this? Why did you not fight it? I would have
Yeah.
fought tooth and nail to
Like
be like,
Could
not.
you imagine trying to tell your friends, oh, it's the one of the something and the something, and they'd be like, oh, bajillion options. Like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No.
hmm.
No.
That's why my book is called Tear Down the Sky.
Right? Mine is called La Costa.
Yeah.
The other book I have is The Color of Fear.
Yeah.
Different vibes.
Yep.
So anyway, that was the first book I read this month. The second book, oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed with this book, and I'm so excited because the second one of this comes out really, really soon. If it hasn't come out already, it might have just came out. Okay, you know, last year when we read that stupid book about Egypt that we didn't like, The River Knows.
What the River
We
Knows.
read
Yeah.
we read that book and we were both so disappointed
So disappointed.
because it advertised itself like The Mummy. And
Mm-hmm.
it so profoundly was not. And not only that, but it wasn't well researched and the magic system didn't make sense. And we were very,
Mm-hmm.
very sad. I have found the book that is The Mummy, and it is so fucking good. I love it so much. The characters feel like the mummy. Opening scene, this is not a spoiler, the opening scene, our main character, who's a woman, has chained herself to the gates of Parliament for
That's
the
right.
suffragette
Yeah.
movement because she is awesome and she has a degree in archaeology and all these things, but she's not allowed to do it because women aren't allowed to do anything. And she's pissed about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's phenomenal. It's written by an anthropologist. So the history is good. But she ends up going to British Honduras when it was a colony and searching for the lost city of Toulon, which is
Mm-hmm.
not El Dorado at all. It's like an archaeological discovery, which basically is the root point for both Aztec religion and Maya religion. It's where they meet and where they originate from. And that's what she's searching for. And
Mm-hmm.
she meets the guy who is very much like our friend from the Mummy in his, it's not like a copycat at all. He has his own things, he has his own personality, but the vibes are the same. It's so well researched. It's so well done. I'm almost done with the book. I know I'm not going to be disappointed. I know I'm not going to be. And then the second book is actually taking place in Egypt, which they're queuing up for in the first book because her brother is in Egypt doing an
Mm-hmm. Of
archaeological dig because he gets to live the life he wants to live because he's a man.
course. Yeah.
Um, it's great. I
Mm-hmm.
love it so much. I have not been bored. I have not been resistant. The couple times where you think, oh no, they're going to do the miscommunication trope or they're going to do this, they don't.
Oh,
It's
good.
great.
Yeah.
I
What's
hate
it
the
called?
miscommunication trope. It is called Empire of Shadows, and it's
Pardon me
so
while
good.
I
And it's
add that
by
to my list.
Jacqueline. Huh?
I said, pardon me while I add that to my list.
Yeah, it's by Jacqueline Benson.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's so good. Highly recommend 10 out of 10. It's so
Yeah.
good. I love it so much.
Ooh, cool
Um,
cover too. Very the
it's
mummy
great.
cover.
It's very the mummy vibes, but it's the mummy with a lot of research
Mm-hmm.
based energy with a lot of like historical context. It's really cool. It's really, really
Love that.
cool. I love both of the main characters. I love the side characters. Even the villain is interesting.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
yeah. The villain organization thing is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Hmm.
Cool.
They talk a lot about the political stuff going on in the country at the time in Honduras and like the rebels and the colony and like it's really interesting in general too because it's stuff that I personally didn't learn about at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Oh
So
yeah.
that it's yeah, not to mention like some of the ins and out of the suffrage movement. It's it's really cool. It's a good book. I highly recommend it. I've been having a really, really fun time reading that. Um, the other thing I've been reading is I have been reading a bunch of fan fiction to
Mm,
substitute for social media scrolling,
mm-hmm.
which was very intentional because I needed something that just felt like a quick, like emotional hit for funsies that
Yeah.
social media used to provide, but now it can't because if I open up social media in the morning, like when I wake up or at night before I go to bed, I will freak the fuck out.
Yep.
And
Same.
so fan fiction is my substitution for that because I needed something that was just silly and juicy and nothing grabs your attention like fan fiction does. Like I just mean this like so because you don't
Mm-hmm.
care. You know what
Well,
actually happens to the
well,
characters in
and
the
the
actual
chapters are
book or
typically
movie.
like digestible and yeah.
Right? Or like you already know the story. So this is just like a spin-off alternate universe, whatever. Yes, it can emotionally wreck you. Do not get me wrong. I have a
Mm-hmm.
bound copy of Manacled up there if anyone
Mm-hmm.
wants to know how I like my pain. But I should tell you. everything you need to know about what rips my heart to fucking pieces. Uh, but
Um,
it's really nice. So if you're looking for something to substitute the dopamine, energy hit, whatever of social media scrolling, because now it's honestly terrifying. Social media is really scary right now. I'm just going to acknowledge that. That's part of the reason I've been posting a lot on like my free Patreon. All of my social media videos that I put other places go on my free Patreon, because if you just
mhm.
want me and you don't want everything else, that's fair.
Yeah.
All of it goes there, because of that reason. Anyway, I've been using a lot of fan fiction to substitute for that. It's been great. If you're wondering, like, what fan fiction, I'm not telling you. There's a whole bunch of them. But I do recommend Reddit for that more than I
Hmm.
recommend any social media. So
Yeah.
uh, Reddit will help you figure out what fan fiction you want to read.
Hmm.
Um, there's fan fiction for everything.
There
If
really
you
is.
like it, there's
Yeah.
fiction of it. I promise.
There's one of
Yeah.
the like fanfiction.net is a website that I used to read from. Archive of Our Own is another
Yeah, I
one.
read on AO3 for sure.
Yeah.
And you can download. So on AO3, if you're like, oh my gosh, I love this fanfic, but I like, I don't want to read it on the website or whatever, you can
Mhm.
download the EPUB version of it and open it. I use my Google Books app, and you just hit open on your phone, like open the file, and it'll say open with Google Books. And you say yes. And then it opens up like a beautiful PDF, easy to read in your Google Books.
That's so great. Yeah.
It's magical.
Wasn't
And you can
Archive of
bookmark
Our
it, you
Own
can highlight it, you can do all the things.
Archive of Our Own was, I think, started at least in part by the person who wrote um Naomi Novik.
Was it?
I think
Well, I
so.
love Naomi Novik,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
um
don't quote me on that, but I feel like I remember that being a thing at some point because I was like, really?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it stood out to
Right.
me.
But yeah, I love AO3, which is
Mhm.
Archive of Our Own. I love
Yeah.
it. It's great. There's also Wattpad, but honestly,
No, that's yeah, that's like the Tumblr of
yeah. But
yeah.
AO3 is great. Anyway, I highly recommend it. It's been the perfect thing to substitute for social
Hmm.
media. It's actually kept me off social media before bed and when I wake up, so I don't get freaked out and start my day with panic or end my day
Hmm.
with panic. And it's been really helpful.
Yeah.
The other thing that's also been really helpful with that is Krista knows, you guys know, I'm a big crochet and watch
I was
things
just gonna
person.
say
If you're
I've
watching
become
it,
so
that
skilled
Baphomet,
this month.
yeah, I go, oh, look it. I'll show if you guys are watching. I made this cute crochet purse.
You didn't
It's
send me the
a
pattern yet.
oh, I haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I
No.
did. I'll
Yeah.
just send you. But it's a
Yeah.
crystal ball, but it's a
Mhm.
purse. And I
Isn't
love
that
it so
cool?
much.
Yeah.
It's
I made all
great.
these guys. Like there's a
You made all the
the
woobles?
boobles. Yep.
Okay.
I'm on the ears of my current fox. I bought some more patterns for things. And I basically bought patterns for dolls, like a bunch of them. And I'm just gonna make a bunch of dolls, scarves, whatever, so I never have to stop knitting, but I can donate them.
Yeah.
And yeah, like scarves and mittens and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Amigurumi.
yeah, yeah. I love
Hmm.
amigurumi. Yeah, they're my favorite. But yeah, so I'm proficient at crochet now. I can solve a Rubik's cube.
That's amazing.
I can
I
solve a
love
Rubik's
this.
cube. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
feeling very COVID
Yep.
lockdown.
I'm playing piano lessons. I have a playlist of singing lessons.
Hmm.
Um, and
I've
I'm yeah, I what
I
was it?
uh I crocheted a giant strawberry. I'm
Yep.
halfway through a beanie. I started an embroidery journal with Weston at the first of the year. So each day I embroider
Ooh.
a new little thing on my journal that
That's
represents that
next on my
day.
list. Yeah, I have a practice thing.
It's an undertaking. Let me
Hmm.
just say that it
Well,
is an undertaking.
I have a corgi embroidery thing from like last Christmas, and I got into
Mm,
it, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. So I got a starter kit, which is my
yeah,
goal is to get the starter kit good, so then I can do the corgi thing. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I jumped in raw. Just
yeah.
figure
In
it out as I
December,
go.
I was asking my guides, like, what do I need to do? Like, what's going to
Mm,
be very important for me? And they were like, hobbies. You need hobbies. And
yeah.
so like I've been getting a lot of work done on my next book and reading
Hmm.
books. So I guess transition. Um, the
Yeah.
Modern School of Ancient Wisdom, we read The Serpents of Circe this last
Oh, I'm
month.
not done. I still have one more
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. But then I want to know after that.
Okay.
But what I've been watching and reading, so I've
Oh,
been
right.
watching
The
while I
watching.
read or watching while
Mhm.
I crochet,
Mm.
and I ripped through Vox Machina. Have you seen that?
I started it, but I didn't like how it was in the
It
original
is
in the first
so
episodes.
fucking good.
Does it gets better?
Oh my God, I loved the first episode, so I don't
Okay.
know. But it's so good.
I might have
I
to
have
start. I need
not
something else.
sobbed at a show the way I sobbed at Vox Machina since I watched Gurren Lagann like 7 years
Mm.
ago or 8 years ago. which is an anime.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It is so well
Okay.
done.
I'll
But
give
what
it
they
another shot.
represent is like they represent D&D really well. Like it's bloody.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And that's how it is. Everybody is like Pan, basically. There's everyone can fuck everybody. You don't ever
Mhm.
really see that, but it's just like
Yeah.
everyone flirts with everyone all the time.
Yep.
The interpersonal relationships are good. It's essentially the Critical Role campaign Vox Machina, but
Mhm.
they animated it and made it into like digestible episodes,
Yep.
which is great because the campaign is. But oh my god, it's so good. And they have a
Mhm.
pet bear. Nothing happens to the bear, I promise.
Okay.
But they have a pet bear, and it makes me happy.
Mhm.
The bear's name is Trinket, and I love it.
Mm. Yeah, I'll get
Um,
back into that because I'm
it's
between.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. I don't like that the dragons are the villains, but other than that, it's so good.
Oh, isn't that always the way though?
hmm Oh my god. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, a master of well, you can first of all, if you play D&D, you can see how
Mhm.
the rolls happen, right? You can be
Yep.
like, I've got a really bad roll.
Like
Or
nat one.
you can see how that happens. And then other times you'll be like, oh, that was definitely a nat 20. Like, whoa, okay. Which is fun, which is a fun
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
But it is a master of how are they actually going to get out of this?
Mhm.
Um, so good. Anyway, so I've been coping with that too, and I can't
Yeah.
recommend it enough if you need something
Well,
that you're just going to get immersed in.
and to that point, like again, we've been saying storytelling, fiction, and whatever.
Yeah.
This is not only our resting place, but it is our form of activism. Like when you get into good story and you start making
Mm-hmm.
better stories. Spoiler alert, if you are writing a good story, or even if you feel like you have a story that you want to write, you can pitch us at thealchemistinkwell.com
Yep.
and share your story with us. We are now taking people for the March cohort. So
Yeah.
you'll have a group of people to write with. We won't go too much into that right now because it's a bookend episode, but pitches are open all the time. And whatever the next cohort is,
Mm,
you'll be added to that, and it'll be a nice aligned group where you can
yeah.
channel your book and make a huge difference for people.
Yeah.
Um,
On that note, too, just so you know, the cohorts are limited though. Like we do have a limited
yeah,
number of people we
per
accept into
month.
each cohort.
Mhm.
So if you have a book idea and that feels like and you want to write and channel in your guides and do it in, channeling your actual process and your systems and all of these different things and create like a real healing work of fiction, a very activated work of fiction. We would love to have you. Just know that like if you want to do it sooner rather than later, which we recommend always, like
Mhm.
when it strikes you, it's best to start acting on it before it
Mhm.
sits for too long.
Yeah,
Just know
that's
the
in Big
cohorts do
Magic.
fill up. Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth Gilbert says that the story idea will move on if you don't take it. Yeah.
So just to know that, just gonna throw
Mhm.
that out there though too. It's like they're not like but it is an
Yeah.
application process on
No, you'll
purpose.
have
Like we keep it very aligned.
yeah, we keep small groups at a time.
hmm
But if it's already full for this month, we'll let you know about next month. And,
Yeah,
so
progress from there.
yeah, just
Yeah.
make sure you
Anyway.
follow that story instinct. Good point.
hmm
Yeah. So this month in the Modern School of Ancient Wisdom, we were finishing our series on magic for resilience and um, resistance. And so
hmm
we read Serpents of Circe, which is an anthology of essays, spells, recommended things for
Love
resilience,
it.
primarily, like how to take care of yourself while you're trying to help make the world better. Um, and so that's been really encouraging and inspiring, and also helping us. A lot of us have decided like where our boundaries are, what boundaries we're
Mhm.
willing to push, those kinds of things. So that's
I
been
love
really
that.
fun. This month for February, we're going to read Lamb, the Gospel according to Biff, Christ's best friend.
Do
Uh,
it.
I'm already engrossed in it and I'm loving it. Um, so it's a fiction story, but it's about the missing years of Jesus, where he's actually going around meeting basically the three wise men, learning to be the Messiah with his best friend Biff. And I just love it. Um,
hmm
and it's Biff's recount of how it goes. And the way the angels are portrayed is really interesting. And the fact that you get multiple worldviews incorporated in it, which I think is wise and appropriate for anybody who's looking at the Christ consciousness or energy and thinking that they want to kind of be a part of that. They should also take into account that it wasn't the first religion. So
hmm
it's very informed and has a lot in common with other belief systems. So I think it's amazing, and it's really like laugh out loud funny. So I love it. Reading that one right now. You can join us. We are technically starting like next week, but I just got ahead because I'm trying to get ahead for Egypt stuff right now.
hmm
I also read in January The Sunbury Trials, the first book of that.
Oh
It
yeah.
was It was pretty good. I probably will end up reading the second book eventually. I don't feel like compelled toward the second book, but
Mm,
I will definitely get there. Um, and I also read this was a recommendation from Rebecca, which I really loved, Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap.
hmm
Just really good mindset stuff, making you remember that finances are not this gate kept, impossible, inaccessible thing, and then telling you exactly how to go about it. And I've already implemented some things that have made me feel a lot more in control and have helped me set boundaries with other people who would try to tell me like how to do things. And it's like, no, I actually know what I'm doing. So
hmm
thanks, but no thanks. Um, really appreciated that. And I feel like there was something else I read. I've been reading the Bible every day, the Oxford Annotated Bible, so I can get the footnotes and the
hmm
cultural references. And Dan has been reading it too. So every day he gives me his summary of, his first time reading the Bible, and I'm looking at the scholarship analysis. And it's been really, really cool to be like, oh, of course they acknowledged, like I knew this before, but they acknowledged the presence of other gods. And now I have the footnotes to cite to prove it. It's great. So
hmm
I'll be doing that all year.
So
So
funny. You're like, I've been reading the Bible every day. I'm like, well, I'm reading smutty fanfic. It's great.
I'm not reading the Bible to be the good Christian kid. I'm reading the Bible to know my resources better than the people who are using it inappropriately.
Yeah, which I love. I love. It's just
I'm ready to get in some arguments, is basically what's happening here.
hmm like this is argument preparation. I'm
Mhm.
gonna
Yeah.
I don't know why I look like I'm like getting blinded by the
Mm.
sun when it's literally like cloudy outside. It's fine.
Mm.
You see me on the video and I look extra pale. I'm just like cosplaying Edward Cullen. It's fine. It's
Ouch.
a bookend episode, okay?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Can't help it if
Um,
I'm pasty. Um, yeah.
cool.
I do want to say, we were just talking about this before we hopped on. This next like 2 months of reading are going to be
So good.
gold.
Dude, Emily Wilde's next book
I
comes
know.
out. And
In
then
like a week,
Oathbound comes out. The
Oathbound comes
I'm
out.
so excited for that. Oh, yeah.
Rebel Witch comes out, which is the Crimson Moth, the second of the Crimson Moth, which I
Mhm.
read last fall and I really, really liked. It's like the blood magic-y kind of one. Super duper
Yeah.
fun. Which I'm really excited about. Oh, this one. What is this one about? I was so excited. I pre-ordered it immediately. Tell me more about this one. Because I have like I'm going through my list of like upcoming
Hmm.
ones. I'm like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
cool. It's gonna be
Same.
cool.
Yeah, I have a list of things and it's like not out yet.
Oh, this one's called Green Teeth, and the little blurb at the beginning says, "A new voice in cozy fantasy, a joyful, warm-hearted tale of fae, folklore, and found family, um, perfect for fans of Travis Baldree and T.J. Klune." Which I'm like, that's
Okie
me.
dokie.
Have bought the thing. Um, yeah, great, amazing, love it, obsessed. Then we have the Sunrise on the Reaping, which is Hamish's Hunger Games novel. The new one of those comes out in
Mm.
March, which I'm freaking excited for. It's gonna be a good couple months of reading, and I'm
Hmm.
really excited about it. And the Empire of the Shadows, the new one of those comes out, the Egypt one, which is called something.
It has
Yeah,
a name.
it's great.
Yeah.
Tomb
I
of the
can't
Sun
find it.
King,
Green Teeth?
Green Teeth.
Okay. I'm getting a bunch of kids' books right now, so I'll find it later.
Yeah, by Molly O'Neill.
Okay.
Hmm The blurb is pull up more. No, not about Molly O'Neill. Um,
Oh, it's one
Beneath the
word.
still surface of a lake lurks a monster with needle-sharp teeth, hungry and ready to pounce. Jenny Greenteeth has never spoken to a human before, but when a witch is thrown into her lake, something makes Jenny decide she's worth saving. Temperance doesn't know why her village has suddenly turned against her, only that it's something to do with the malevolent new pastor. Though they have nothing in common, these two must band together on a magical quest to defeat the evil that threatens Jenny's lake and Temperance's family, as well as the very soul of Britain.
Nice.
So the monster is
The
the
hero.
main character.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Love it.
Love it so
Cool.
much. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's great. There's a bunch of stuff. I'm really excited about it. So,
I can't wait. It's going to be
mhm.
necessary.
It is time.
Hmm. We've
It
had
is
a
it's
drought of like of good books. It's been a trickle.
it has definitely been a trickle. Oh, the Tomb of the Sun King came out 2 days ago.
Oh, great.
So
Cool.
Empire of Shadows, Tomb of the Sun King, which means I
Hmm.
can read it before we go to Egypt.
Amazing.
I'm stoked.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah. Tell us what you're reading. If you're watching this on the Patreon or on YouTube, you just want to comment, like, what are you reading right now? We'd love to hear because we're all
mhm.
coping. We're coping with the stories, guys.
It's true.
Speaking of that, let's do some Hygge. Let's do some
Yes.
questions. We have some great
Yes.
Patreon questions. By the way, if you're on Patreon, you just want to ask us a question, like a Hygge style question, like just
Hmm.
any video of ours, like a podcast video of ours, just comment it and then we'll scroll
Yeah.
back through for the month and collect them all.
Yep.
Um,
If you can say Higa, so when we search Higa, it comes up easier. That way we won't miss it.
yeah,
Hygge.
yeah.
Higa.
Hygge. I
Cool.
listened to that song the other day because I really needed it, and it's so
Uh,
funny.
I still have to listen to
Running
it.
errands, not Hygge. It's just
Yeah.
all
Oh.
right. Do you want to ask yours first from yours?
Yes. So mine
Okay.
is from Hunter, and it says, "What song from Epic the Musical are you, and why?"
Uh, the song that Tiresias sings, "The Blind
Hmm.
Psychic."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for
Mine.
sure what I am. One, it's in the underworld, which obviously I'm in a different realm, and two,
Yeah.
it's a psychic,
Hmm.
literally giving a prediction, and it's confusing. So
Right.
all the vibes.
Mine is God Games, where Athena has to convince all the gods.
Very
Because
fair.
I love a good argument, and like when it's formulated well and it's like delivered straight to the person's interests, and like, dang, the scholarship of
Love
the
it.
argument, I'm game.
Although no, I've also been playing Phoenix Rising again, doing another playthrough of
Mm,
that.
yeah.
And every time something comes up that's like related to any part of the gods or whatever, it's like the epic song pops through my head. I'm like,
Right.
yeah. Like they have Odysseus challenges where you have to like shoot through the handles of a bunch of axes to like
Yeah.
activate something. And I'm like, it's the song, right? Like
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
can string. And I just sing that like, yeah. It's been
Oh,
a vibe. That's a great
making
question
me
though.
you're making me miss karaoke. I miss karaoke.
I miss karaoke too. We had a great time at karaoke.
Hmm.
We should, I don't know if we could Egypt
Yeah.
karaoke. That's probably not a thing. But
Egypt
on
karaoke
one
will
of
be
our trips
tough.
again,
Maybe at the
right?
Sacred Spaces Getaway, we'll do karaoke.
Oh, Sacred Spaces Getaway, we could totally
Yeah.
do karaoke.
Hmm.
Iceland, I bet we could do karaoke too. I bet they have
Yeah.
karaoke.
But we could find somewhere to do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. My question. Oh, the whole page reloaded. It's okay. I don't remember who exactly asked it, so I'm sorry for not shouting out your name, but my whole page reloaded and I don't want to scroll back through. But I remember the question, and that was cake or pie?
Cake or pie? Ugh. Do you want to go first or should I?
Yeah, I'll go. Sure.
Okay.
Um, if it's cheesecake, cheesecake.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually like I'm a more of a cookie person in general. I
Mm.
really like me some cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I like cheesecake a lot. Um, yeah, I like tiramisu a lot. I like those types of desserts, more of like a cookie
Mm-hmm.
person more than anything. That's more of
Yeah.
my vibe. If I
Yeah.
strictly have to pick between cake or pie, it's gonna be pie.
Yeah. That's
There's too many more options of textures.
that's where I'm going. Yeah. So cheesecake has the
Huh.
consistency of frosting all the way through. Like,
Basically,
that's what
basically
I
it
want.
does.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So give me frosting on a crust and call it
Frosting
cheesecake,
all the
and
way
we're
through.
happy. My favorite thing is actually oatmeal cream pies. Or like
Really?
whoopie
Okay.
pies or things. Yeah. Because they've got a really good texture for the cookie part, but then you get the
Mhm.
icing too, and it's nice and sweet, and you can dunk it in coffee, and it's
Mhm.
amazing. And then
Mhm.
like the icing that falls out of the oatmeal cream pie goes in your coffee, and you win double prizes. And it's fantastic. I do like cake because icing is my favorite food group.
Mhm.
But I could if the pie is right, if it's got a
Mhm.
good texture and things are going well, or a good crumble on top, something like
Well,
that.
I
Mhm.
I love me key lime pie. I love key lime
Mm.
pie. I like
And see,
banana
that's
cream
that
pie. I
texture.
like
Yeah.
lemon meringue
Yeah.
pie. Well, I can't
Fudge
eat the meringue
pie.
part now, but
Hmm.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Those kinds of pies, absolutely.
Mhm.
Any
Mhm.
pie that
I
is
agree.
similar to cheesecake.
Yeah. Any so exactly that. Exactly that. And
Yeah.
cookies, if they're also similar
Mhm.
to cheesecake,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Like
Uh-huh.
anything that's like Oreo-esque is really great
Mhm.
because like you just sink your teeth into that frosting and yeah.
Yeah.
So great question.
I
Now I'm
yeah, good
hungry.
question. I am as well. I am also very hungry. I think frosting all the way through sounds like a memoir, and I think
Mm,
that's adorable.
it's frosting all the way through instead of turtles all the
Mhm.
way down.
Mhm. It's cute. It's
Hmm.
cute. Uh, yeah. Okay, let's do some actual Hygge questions. Do you have the game?
Okay. Yes, I do. I
Okay.
have the game.
Dun, da, da, da.
So this is the part where we let Higa be our cozy tarot and help us basically make each other cry is what happened last
I
time.
know. And the
But
time before, I'm pretty sure.
it was so needed and kind, and I like it. And just reminds
Mm-hmm.
us that we can have those moments. Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay.
Also, we're going to Egypt really soon, and we're very excited about
We're
it. I
very
just
excited. We
want to
get to
post
see each other
pictures.
again.
Uh-huh. And a bunch of
We
you
only
guys who are
really,
coming
yeah.
with us.
Yes, which is gonna be so fun. I, by the way, am doing the last night of the spell that I'm doing in preparation for Egypt, which I will be bringing souvenirs from in a sense for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to
Mm-hmm.
that if you're coming to Egypt. Um, let's see. Okay, here's a question. What do you do differently from most people?
Exist?
I was gonna say,
Like, okay, so here's
hmm,
the thing, and Krista knows this about me, and I'm not shy about it. I talk about it often. If I try to do things in the way they're supposed to, or have traditionally, or have always been done, they will not
not
work.
gonna work. Hmm.
Always. And it goes to any part of my life. Any part of my life I've had to custom engineer to actually function. It will work the same way for everybody else, but for me, it does not. And
Hmm.
it's stupid. It's taught me how to fail really well. I've failed a
Yeah.
lot in my life and I'm very content with failure and I will just move on with like no emotional impact whatsoever. Fail all day long. Until something sticks. So I will say it's genuinely everything.
Hmm.
Like down to the way I buy travel, down to the way I purchased my house, down to the way I like it's literally everything. Nothing can just go the way it works for other people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I would say that. I'm sure there's more. Let me think about it. What about you?
Well, so I agree with what you're saying because if I could tell you how many times I've heard, I don't know what to tell you. No one else has ever had this problem. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I'm so unique. And that's everybody else's issue. Um, I think, God, it's hard because like for most of your experience, you only know you. So it's like, oh, everybody else must be similar. But there's a lot about my brain that is very different than other people. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just talking neurodivergence. Like I've got damage, I've got neurodivergence, I've got trauma, it's beautiful up here, and there's only half of it working. So there's a lot
Uh-huh.
that comes out of my brain that is different. And I tend to do thinking the way Hani guides us through tours where I will go in the way that people go out and then
Mm-hmm.
go backwards.
That's
But
fair.
it works. And so it also helps me be a good teacher because I've thought about things in like the reverse engineered way, and then I can go all sorts of angles with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't want to be like, oh, I think so differently from other people. I think I navigate thought in a way that is unconventional.
I mean, you literally physically have to. That's
I
not like you physically have to do
I
that
mean, you've
differently.
seen me math.
Uh-huh.
I do math differently than other
Mm-hmm.
people. Em has witnessed
Mm-hmm.
this where I have to look at something, create an image that I can make it match in my head so that I can math the image. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, so
I've seen Krista yell at their fingers. So Krista does fingers different than everybody else. Let's just do that.
they're not, they're broken. They're not like actually broken. They just don't work. I was just
She'll be
yelling
like,
at them today.
fingers, stop it.
You have to do what I tell you to do. Yeah, that
Because
I do that.
it's brain, not brain sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
Yeah, half of brain very well, but only half is there. So we give brain some grace.
yeah. I will also think, just on that note too, and this is strictly because of my own personal upbringing and where I was raised and the philosophies and like life that comes with being raised where I am, or anyone who
Hmm.
was raised in a very small, specifically mountain town where the weather impacts you.
Hmm.
This is where that, as far as like the general populace, I think I do a lot of things differently because of that outlook. And just the way that we live up here. Like I'm super
Hmm.
content to lose my power. It happens all the time. Power goes out. You just live off the grid for a while and then you're fine and then it comes back. Like those types of things too. Is I also I'm like, if I think it's something I do differently than other people, I think that is not as
Hmm.
it's super common for my town. I always thought it was super normal. And then they go other places. I'm like, oh, not super normal. Or like I
Hmm.
drive to go to any big box store, Target, Costco, Walmart, whatever, is 45 minutes. And that's just, well, I
Yeah.
feel like that's a normal thing. So
Yeah.
I'd say that. Also, I do think I parent very differently.
Can confirm, and I love that about you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Again, not to be egotistical about it at all. I'm not
No,
saying it's
no,
better. I'm just saying it's
it's
different.
an awareness. There's nothing wrong with
Hmm.
stating it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you have peer review.
Hmm.
So,
Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shall we do
Uh,
another?
yeah, let's do another one. I literally picked the same one as last time. No, I put it in there. Am I supposed to
Well,
do a second
no,
one
we're
from
not
here?
going to answer that question.
No. Like, I don't like it. It's like, our school uniform's a good idea or a bad idea. I don't really, I don't know.
Don't give a shit.
Um,
Not important.
oh, okay. Hang on. There are two on here that we could use. I'm going to start with, what do you think your parents would answer if asked what the craziest thing you did as a child was? This is great.
Whoa. Oh God, am I going to out myself on the podcast? Okay. Who are we asking? Are we asking my mom or my dad? Because my mom would probably say something super sweet and like, okay, if we're talking childhood, it's probably the fact that I can catch any living creature with my hands. And it's like a
Okay.
weird skill. I can catch lizards, I can catch snakes, I can catch birds, I like and have many times just walked in carrying insert animal here in my hands. You know how other people like bring home kittens or whatever? It was not kittens.
Gotcha.
It
I love
was
that.
everything else. Everything I should definitely probably have not gotten as good at catching that I did. I still can do this. I can walk into the water around Lake Tahoe. We have crawdads. And just like crawdad. Yeah, or baby ones. I know how to catch the baby ones too, and where to find the baby crawdads and like how you catch those.
Hmm.
Frogs. One time I came home with a bag of mating frogs. I'm not joking. It was a whole tote bag full of like 8 pairs of frogs that were all going at it in the bag. And I
Hmm.
walk into my kitchen and I'm like, Mom, why are they vibrating? And she's like, frogs. They were big. They were like honking frogs. So yeah, that's what I would say. They would probably say the craziest thing I did as like a child would be the fact that I just
Hmm.
gathered all the creatures.
Yeah. Knowing some things that I know about you, I can see where that's associated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. This is my soul type just on display. It's
Uh-huh.
just all of my higher self stuff. Just
Um,
yeah.
so I guess to that end, mine would be I would yell at anybody who was doing something wrong, whether it was the guy yelling at his girlfriend in a bookstore when I was like wee bitty and telling him that he wasn't allowed to do that. The amount of times my mom would come out of nowhere and just drag me away when I was like marching over to someone to yell at them.
Amazing.
It's a lot. So yeah, the craziest thing was my lack of regard for authority or perceived authority and my huge sense of justice.
There.
My therapist does say that protecting people is one of my love languages. So
Well, that's nice. I
yeah.
think on that note too, again, circling back to animals, I think probably my parents would also be like, choose to ride horses. No one in my
Mhm.
family, well, my cousins are horsey kind of, but no one in my family does horses. But when I was 4, I was like, that's all I want to do. And I will not do any extracurriculars until you live. And so I did. So I would say very similar to that kind of energy
Yeah.
of just, this is what I do now.
Yeah. Well, and
Try
I
me.
think my parents at the time thought all of the intuitive stuff I did was weird.
Mhm.
Now, not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the like, what are you even doing situation. It's like, I'm going to tell
Hmm.
you about this person standing in the corner of the room. What?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I would say is the craziest thing probably for me. And yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Do we want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. We have time.
How would you define intelligence?
Oh shit. I don't know. This is a pop quiz style. This is
I
not
know.
Hygge. How would I define intelligence? The
Do you want
fact
me
that
to
I
go
can
first?
I think intelligence is defined by the fact that I can define it.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it is defined by the fact that I have the amount of like the definition is itself in that way
Hmm.
of like the fact that we can think about it and I
It
have
thinks,
a
therefore it is.
concept. Yeah, it thinks
Cogito
therefore it
ergo
is.
sum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I think my my virgin.
Ah!
I don't have one of those. Anyway, let's define intelligence now, Krista. Okay.
My favorite song of yours. God, so
I
funny.
think is that why you had me pick that question? I don't understand. I think
I don't have one of
intelligence.
those. I continue. Oh, it's
Sorry.
fantastic.
Sorry to everybody who's only listening to this. This must be so obnoxious. Oh, look, now I'm crying for a different reason. um, I think intelligence is something that can be defined on a case by case basis. I'm very Socratic about it because I think everybody has an intelligence if they lean into their strengths, if they actualize themselves. There is an intelligence that they have, and it's crucial to the world. And I think that other people have intelligences that I do not have. And thank God, because I don't want to do what the other people are doing. I want to do what I'm doing. I want to be
Hmm.
intelligent my way. And I think intelligence comes from first, and this has been huge for me intuitively lately, mind your own business, do your own stuff, and be yourself in your own space, and then
Hmm.
share it with other people. And some people are going to try to yuck your yum. That is their problem. But you're
Hmm.
not yucking other people's yums by doing your own thing and thriving in it and enjoying it. And when you do that, you naturally get recognized. And I think that helps you recognize, like, this is my zone of genius or area of intelligence
Hmm.
or whatever. And I think that that really helps us feel amazing, feel accepted, feel special, and those kinds of things. So I define intelligence by leaning into the thing that you would do whether someone was taught that you would do, especially if someone wasn't looking.
I think I have a really interesting, I love that. I love that, especially in relation to like
And
human
to recover.
intelligence.
Yeah.
I also feel, I also feel well, like I talk about this all the time. Everything has consciousness. Like everything
Mhm.
has consciousness. Like
Yeah.
to pick an object, it has consciousness. Like, and don't get too existential with it because it will freak you out. Don't freak out
Hmm.
about it. It's just
Yeah.
what it is. It's just the truth. Like everything is consciousness. And so in
Hmm.
a way, I kind of feel like everything has intelligence purely because it exists.
Hmm.
Um, and so there's an intelligence to it, there's a consciousness to it. And
Hmm.
I think that's just like innate consciousness versus or innate intelligence versus like applied intelligence. And applied intelligence is more of like what you're talking about, of like
Hmm.
diving into like application of that and like having intention behind it and those types of things. So yeah, a very interesting question. I don't
Yeah.
know. I am shit at philosophy. Let's just go that route. I'm not good at that. I think about stuff all the time, constantly, incessantly, with no end, but I don't need to have a formalized philosophy around it for it to just be. I've always been very content, like,
Oh,
well, that's what it is. All right.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that, but I love it and I can admire it from where I sit. You have a form of intelligence I do not have access to, and it's
Love it.
beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm, yeah. So that was a good one. That was
Mm-hmm.
sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
I'm not. That was phenomenal. Good one. I don't have one of those. Oh my God, that was awesome. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I
Uh,
did. I think that was
I
fantastic.
really, yeah, just buried myself on that one. Oh,
Oh, amazing.
well,
Well, I hope this was your little escape hour-ish amount of time that we wanted it to be.
if it made you laugh, it's worth it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm,
let us know what you're reading. Ask us questions. We would love to hear from you. And like Hygge style questions,
mhm,
like stuff you want to know about us and the world.
mhm.
You know,
We'll share our intelligence with you for as far as our brains can do it.
it's as close as we can get to sharing pie, okay?
Mhm.
Sharing the cheesecake.
It is the
Uh,
best.
Anyway, we hope that you take all of this energy and that you, one, two, three, go make
Go
some
make some
magic.
magic. Oh,
Woo!
I hope it sounds as good on your end as it does on mine, because that was great. That
It
was
didn't.
great.
It sounded awful.